So, Jaideep and Zeeshan, a huge welcome to you both on Filme Shilmy. It's wonderful to be in conversation with you. In fact, Zeeshan, we spoke a few years back for Zero, so it's nice to catch up with you once again. Congratulations on Bloody Brothers. So actually, you're both playing brothers who are caught up in an accidental crime. So the trailer seems dark, but yet quite comical. So how difficult is it for you both as actors to balance both styles of acting, comedy and crime, and a bit of a thriller as well? Zishan, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I think uh, that is one of the main reasons why we said yes to this project, because it's really challenging and it is fun because uh, in a dark comedy zone where a dark comedy thriller zone, honestly, uh, you have to be serious in the situation because the things that are happening to you are really affecting you. But at the same time, you have to maintain that timing so that audience can laugh on those moments, and they should not be taking you too seriously. So I think that was really fun, and that challenge was something that we were looking for while we signed the project.
Right. And what about you, Jaideep? How much of a challenge was it for you to balance both the comical and crime aspect of the character?
I think for me it is a crime. The situations are funny about it, so but I never mind playing it funny way because for me it's very serious situation. So I played it very seriously, and the fun element is right there in the situation. So need not to play fun and serious both together. But I think that's how it's interesting because I realized during the shoot that for a dark comedy you have to be really serious to make it funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think dark comedies actually are quite rare in Indian cinema. I feel like we're seeing a lot more of them now. Um, but I think it's kind of evolved over time. So why do you think this is the case, Zishan? And to what extent do you think Bloody Brothers will kind of represent this genre in its truest form?
I think first of all, I think it's a difficult genre, and we though we have dark comedy in our lives, in our personal lives, but I don't know why people were not making many more films or series on dark comedy. I think that is the life we lead out there, and I think Bloody Brothers, because um how they have adapted it, it has so many cultural references. The way people treat their relationships with each other, with families, with friends. And I think that is how it will be representing dark comedy in a very good manner. All the twists and turns. And whenever we were reading the script, it was like, oh, okay, now I think I know where this story is going. And suddenly there is a twist, and you are like, oh, okay. Okay, after maybe 20 pages, you are like, now I know where it's going. And then suddenly there is another twist. And I think that is how life is, and they have been really true to to the form, the writers, and as well as the director. So I hope that it fulfills the promise.
Right. And in fact, when it comes to dark content, I think Jaideep, you're definitely no stranger to that. You've definitely played a lot of characters and storylines which are quite dark in essence as well. But I think, just elaborating from what you said, I mean, Shaad Ali, I mean, he's made so many wonderful films. I mean, just like Satya. So he's never really attempted something this dark. So I think this is also his way of exploring that. So Jaideep, how was it like to sort of, I guess, be in tune with his vision as a director in exploring both these very different styles coming together?
Yeah, but Shad is a very funny guy. Shad is very fun-loving guy, and he's a very chilled out person. So you meet him and you know you gel with him very like instantly. So it was fun working with him. He has this his own knowledge of music and cinema and comic time. His sense of humor is amazing. So that helped, that was very helping in terms of filming all those scenes where there is comedy element and seriousness and dark, as you said, that I'm not new to it. So I handled that part. But with him, it's very beautiful that he gives you complete freedom to portray what and how you want to portray the
Hmm.
character. And if something goes off off the track, he comes to you and let you know what it is, and maybe correct it right away.
Sure. Now, you both have played roles which are real and of people who exist within the fabrics of our society. But I think when playing the roles like you do in Bloody Brothers, what else do you rely on, actually, besides the script and the material at hand? What else do you rely on or draw inspirations from, Jaideep?
I think you see people around, you observe them around, you see those situations around. Like I always see this, that I am from Haryana, and the dark humor is in their ways. Like they behave like that, and for them it's very natural process. So I see things apart from your direction team and your director and your script and your co-actors. You see people, you see things, and you observe them, and you try to put them in a good amount of mixture to get those characters out.
Right. And I think Zeeshan, coming to you as well, observation, it seems to be a very key skill, I think, for any actor. So how good of an observer are you?
I think I'm quite good in that sense, because I think we before we became actors, I started acting in 2000. But even before that, I think I used to observe people when I started. I think when all the friends are there, even in Uti, that is what we were doing. We keeps on telling all different stories from our neighborhood, and how people were responding in our colleges or in our hostels. And so I think that power of observation is something that is necessary for any actor. And I hope that I'm
I think it's very natural also.
Yeah, it comes to us naturally. I think that is how we survive in our groups of friends, by telling stories.
Absolutely. Well, naturally, I can definitely vouch for that. And in fact, acting also, I think it enables one to understand perspectives by living the lives of others. So do you feel that the art has actually taught you to feel empathy for everyone in life, even the antagonists of our society also?
Yeah, I think it makes you more empathetic towards people, and you start understanding people more, and you stop being judgmental, for sure. And I think it makes you a better human being, or and vice versa. If you are a better human being who is sensitive enough to understand other people's feelings, then you'll be a better actor. But at the same time, I think all of us has our objectivity towards life, and especially real life. If somebody is hurting somebody, I don't think I can feel his or her pain in real life, especially while I'm playing a character. That could be a different thing altogether. But in real life, I will go and stop that person. So I think that objectivity, social objectivity, is also important
Right.
to demarcate between things.
Yes, and I think when we talk about antagonists of our society, or let's say the evolving of great characters, which we're seeing very prominently now in Indian cinema, I think again, Jaideep, you did very well in Patal Lok. I remember watching that series, and I felt so many emotions at once when I saw your representation of that character. So when you are playing, even in Bloody Brothers also, when you are playing a gray character or a very dark character as well, how uh, do you ever feel a conflict actually within you of what you believe in as a person versus what the character is portraying or what the character represents?
I not very brothers, but I had that feelings earlier. But just adding something to the previous question, that being an actor, what makes you different from the other people, that it gives you the perspective of life, perspective of the things, even if you don't agree with them, like you said, the antagonist or gray thing or whatever. If you don't even agree to them, but you still uh, understand what they are saying, or how they are coming to that point. And in, when I'm portraying something, I don't go into that zone, that uh, is it right for me or not as a person, as Jaideep Ahlawat? If I don't agree the the process of that character or mental situation of that character or his decision of what he's doing. But because it creates a dilemma in my work, because I have to believe what my character is doing. That's why he's doing it. So if I don't believe my character and his perception towards what he's doing, I might struggle to do it or may not be as believable as it should be. So I don't do that. I have to be in sync with that character, otherwise it doesn't work for me in a way. Of course, there are some points, there are some time when you get, okay, I don't know if he should do this or not, but that's a different notion. It's not conflicting my issues with the character.
This is a very interesting point, actually, because I feel conviction is something which we all need to have. I mean, regardless of which industry you're in or which profession you're in. But has there ever been a time, I think, Zeeshan and Jaideep, where you've felt like you were very excited by a character on paper, but then when going through that process of actually, adjusting to that, have you ever felt that that conviction has lessened, and how do you deal with it when at that point when a conviction has lessened? Zeeshan, we'll go with you first, and then we'll go to Jaideep, and then I'll ask one last question.
See, it hasn't happened to me from my perspective. Honestly, it hasn't happened that I'm playing a character and slowly I stop believing in what that character is saying. Because I think when you do your homework, you already convince yourself of the things, just like what Jaideep was saying. But yeah, I think your belief. I have lost belief in projects many a times. I would confess that because the way that your character has been treated by the makers, I have faced that many a times when you can see your character getting murdered and getting sabotaged and everything, and you really feel hurt from inside. So I think that that has happened with me many times, but not from my side. If I convince myself to do a character, I'll definitely make sure that I give my 100%.
And Jaideep, what about you? When you might feel a bit unsure about a character whilst going through that process of playing it, how do you cope with that?
Yeah, I think that might happen with me during the reading of the script. But when you talk to the director, or maybe to sittings with the director and writer, see, I cannot take a project if I'm not convinced that it's going to be played like that. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to help me to play that. I have to be convinced, either from my side or from the director side, that it's going to be believable in that sense. Sometimes you yourself cannot jump into the situation rightly because you are thinking only about your character, not the entire story and the perspective of the story. But once I reach at the location on the set, I have to jump in. I have to, even if I'm 5% not convinced about that, I have to push those 5% or 10% to jump into the situation and just be there and let me feel, or the character feel, is it going right away or not. Like, it's not about the script. For example, there's one scene which I'm not agreeing to it, or maybe not feeling good about it, or don't believe that it should be like this. But if the actor says, okay, this is how I want it, so I just forget my things and just take the leap of faith into the situation.
Right. Now, speaking of leap of faith, and on a final note, actually, the OTT platforms like ZEE5 have actually provided scope for brilliant actors like yourselves to showcase a very different side to your craft, which, as actors, which perhaps cinema might not have given that opportunity for numerous reasons. And you both are actually huge success stories as well, I must say, as actors. And I'm really grateful that we've got to see such great artistry coming our way. But how do you feel generally after this whole digital boom that's happened in India? How do you feel Indian cinema has changed its approach towards actors who are not the conventional heroes? Zeeshan.
I think it was changing. It was already changing a bit. I won't say a lot, but I think it has just fast forwarded the whole process, the boom of OTT, and especially in the last 2 years. And I think it just breaks the power structure and the hierarchy, and I think that makes it much more simpler. Because if you're doing a show, it is there on a platform, and even if any big star or anybody is doing a film or a show, that is also there on that platform. Now it is, the power is in audience's hand, so you don't have to worry about how many screens your film is releasing. You don't have to worry about how much money is it making and all those things. So I think definitely it has been very positive for writers, especially directors, and obviously for actors also. So that is there, but it doesn't mean that cinema is fading away, I would say. Cinema is a different medium altogether. It is more of a festival kind of a thing in India, especially. We make plans to go to a cinema hall, and OTT is a very individual medium. So I think both the things will survive. But last 2 years have been really great for actors like us, and definitely because of these shows that we have done on OTT platforms, it has given confidence to some of the makers too, to cast us as a leads or antagonist or protagonist in a film, because now they can trust us with a story on our shoulders. So
Right.
yeah.
And what about you, Jaideep? I feel a lot, do you feel like filmmakers and writers and producers are approaching you now with a lot more confidence? I think when it comes to headlining a series or a film now, do you feel it's kind of broken that glass ceiling for you as an actor?
Yes, definitely. Like more or less, Zeeshan had said everything about what OTT and cinema is all about. But as you said, now the makers have more faith, or they have more, kind of, they want to experiment in a way that, we have seen him like that only, we have seen him like that only. Now we have seen him in a different body, we have seen him in a different weight, different look. So if he's doing right with all those things, let's try him in something new. So that faith has been, that has been kind of grown in a way that they can experiment with actors like me or Zeeshan or whoever is there right now. So yeah, that's a good sign. That's good for us. That's good for cinema. That's good for everyone.
Well, I think it's good for us audiences, to be very honest. And like I said, we get to watch such great craftsmen and craftswomen also come to light due to wonderful projects like Bloody Brothers on ZEE5. I cannot wait to watch the series. I actually just saw the trailer and I was very impressed by how it looked. And I think to see you both coming together, it's definitely a force to be reckoned with. And I cannot wait to catch on ZEE5. So Jaideep and Zeeshan, thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.